Now that Project RBZ32 is up and running, it's time to do a complete walkthrough of RBZ Mark I. Aloha boys and girls, and welcome to the official walkthrough of my RB26 powered Z32 300ZX. I figure it's about time to go ahead and do an official walkthrough because as it's concerned with the meat and potatoes of this swap, it is a fully functional RB26 into Z32 swap. Everything is done, everything's complete, and the way you see her today is her Mark I version. So, we need to discuss where she's at now, so we have a good point of reference so we can start talking about the way ahead. The donor car is a 1993 Nissan 300ZX 2+2 Z32, originally fitted with a VG30DE non-turbo engine. As I said, she's a 2+2, she has a back seat, and the reason I chose to go with a 2+2 is because I have 3 children, all teenagers, and man, it's too hard to choose which one I want to take with me on any given time, so it's great to have the room to take any single one of them with me at any given time. Talking about the car, it's clad in this wonderful satin black paint job courtesy of Aiea Collision in Aiea, Hawaii on the island of Oahu. The car is fitted with 35th anniversary edition wheels from a 350Z, currently being held up on a suspension made of Tokiko adjustable shocks and Eibach sport springs. Helping with stopping duties is a 13.1-inch Bear big brake kit, and other suspension goodies include a custom sway bar by St. Louis Speed and Sound, as well as Specialty Z rear subframe spacers. The front is fitted with a 1999 J-Spec front end that has had the license plate removed. It's also fitted with fog light ducts, J-Spec turn signals, J-Spec side markers, Stillen Type 3 side skirts, the Twins Type 2 rear valance with integrated diffuser, and 1999 spec tails and center. As you can see, every single piece of trim and molding on this car is brand new. When I took her in to get her painted, I had every single thing replaced on this car. Under the front bonnet lies the heart of Godzilla itself, a Skyline GTR RB26DETT. This particular engine is from a 1995 R33 GTR, and as it pertains to the mechanical ins and outs of this engine, it is more or less stock. It has been rebuilt, it has a full Cometic kit, ARP head studs, but as far as injectors, turbos, and bottom end, this engine is currently more or less stock. I wanted to go ahead and keep it stock in the initial swap, so that way if any gremlins kind of showed their heads, I'd know where to troubleshoot, rather than introducing new kinds of problems and new kinds of gremlins that come with extreme modding right off the bat. You can see it's been dressed up nicely with some great custom polishing, and this is courtesy of Sean at Synergy Composites. On the intake side, she is breathing courtesy of HKS mushroom filters. And I went with this design to give it that stock GTR Skyline look. These HKS mushrooms are helping the set of stock turbos breathe easy, and as you can see, the turbine side is wrapped in thermal blankets to help reduce inside engine bay temperatures. The turbos are fitted to a set of Tomei manifolds, as well as a set of Tomei dump pipes. As she's currently configured, the fuel line comes from the original Z32 side, up and over the back wrapped in thermal blankets, to the manifold side of the engine. Our fuel filter has been relocated to this spot right here, and down underneath the engine you can see the oil filter is fitted to a Greddy Grex sandwich plate that not only has the necessary sensors, but also lines leading to a very much necessary oil cooler. The car is currently fitted with the stock GTR boost control solenoid, and excessive pressure within the manifold is let loose by this Blitz BOV. Removing the nose panel reveals a lot of the very important features about this swap. Notably, at first we can see this Ross Tough Bond harmonic balancer attached to the crank, which helps drive the Nissan N1 oil pump and the Nissan N1 water pump. Water temperatures are helped controlled by a Nismo thermostat, and all that coolant is ran through this CNR Racing dual pass 3-inch core racing radiator, additionally cooled by the assistance of this 12-inch SPAL high-flow pull fan. Now this is a sealed radiator, so we have to fill our coolant somewhere, which is why this tank in the back exists. This overflow tank is our coolant inject point and the highest point on the engine. Moving on from water cooling, let's talk about air cooling for a second. There's custom 3-inch piping coming off of the turbo pipes down into the front of the car, connected to a massive front mount intercooler that has been mounted in such close proximity to the radiator that the SPAL fan actually helps pull air through the FMIC as well. The decision to remove the fog lights and go with these fog light ducts has proved extremely beneficial. Our 19-row Mishimoto oil cooler, which is then fitted to our Grex Gretty sandwich plate. Moving underneath the car, we first encounter this custom sway bar made by St. Louis Speed and Sound. Beyond that is the original RB26 all-wheel drive oil pan. It has been custom modified to fit this application, as well as the custom modification of the cross member itself. You can see the welds here on the side where the front axle was pulled out of the oil pan and the front differential was removed. The engine itself is mounted via the McKinney Motorsports engine mount kit. However, some custom modification is required. Some of the real magic has been accomplished back here with the transmission. This is what I dubbed the Frankenmission. It's a Z32 gearbox mounted to an RB26 bell housing using a Z33 clutch fork and an RB25 clutch slave cylinder. It's also using a non-turbo high-performance clutch disc and pressure plate. On the opposite side of the car, we see the custom exhaust. From the turbos, it's 2.5-inch pipes down to a collector, a 3-inch pipe back to an 18-inch resonator, and then split back off into the dual exhaust of a Z32 at 2.5-inch pipes to 2 MagnaFlow mufflers. Bringing the exhaust out the back are 2 MagnaFlow mufflers with quad oval tips. And I really wanted to maintain this setup because it gives the Z the classic look that it was meant to have from the factory. Electronic control of this engine is made possible via a custom wiring harness from Wiring Specialties specific to RB26 and a Z32 application. All that wiring leads back to a Haltech Platinum Pro plug-and-play ECU for an R32, R33 in an RB26. Additionally controlled by the Haltech ECU are the boost control, the electronic radiator fan, and the AEM wideband O2 sensor. This little battery is a Braille 21-pound battery that allows me to keep the battery in the front engine compartment and still have plenty of room for extra upgrades and space. Taking a trip inside to the cockpit of this beast, let's go ahead and take a moment to fire it up so you can see exactly what it hears, because I know in past vlogs some of the sound has been very washed away in the audio of my camera. I went to great lengths to engineer an exhaust for this car that was very, very subtle, tasteful, quiet, and gave this car the respect that it deserves, both at low RPM and at high. High-pitched whining that you might hear is actually the fuel pump, because it's a twin-turbo fuel pump being controlled by a non-turbo fuel controller. That's one thing I definitely need to change out as we move on in this build. Give it a little bit of rev. Well, boys and girls, that concludes the walkthrough of version 1 of my RB26 swap into a 300ZX. I hope it's given a good recap and that it's been informative. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact me, leave me a message, or go back and look at all the different individual parts of the vlog. I'm sure there might be questions that might be answered, or maybe there's things I've left out. Please don't hesitate to ask. If you're making one of these builds on your own, good luck, have fun, remember I'm here, and enjoy the ride.